Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Libra and their personality. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Well, anyway, people, first thing about Libra, what stands out to me is the fact they could be very charming. If really negatively expressed, sometimes this charm could be used for manipulation and manipulative reasons, but generally speaking, it's just a natural part of Libra's personality, and they come across as often very likable to others because of this. They are often very amenable to others' wishes, sometimes maybe too much so, because Libra can be very people appeasing. They're often about trying to do whatever for the other person, sometimes at the expense of their own needs. Now, Libra also can be very tactful and diplomatic. They're not, this is not a sign that really likes to make waves or say something in a way that comes across as brusque or being belligerent. They don't want to stray anybody as being abrasive. They're often about peace. And Libras can often make good mediators, good arbitrators because of this. Now, the thing about Libra too is that they generally are not about combative or contentious situations. Libras really will often want peace at any price, but they will fight for their beliefs when necessary. Libra can have a very passive or placid-like look to them, but don't be fooled by this, because Libra can be as tough as anybody when the chips are down and they have to fight for something that's very significant. Now, this is a sign too that is often very relationship-oriented. Libras often, I think they just often need to have that other person just to kind of be like that balance for them. Remember, the symbol for Libra is the scales, and I think when they have that significant other, what have you, it's like their other half. They want to balance things out. They want to have they're one person, and then they have the other person on the other side. It's kind of an equalizer. I think they often don't feel like one until they have that other person in their life. Now, the thing is, though, Libra can be flirtatious, and sometimes this could be a problem for that significant other. But keep in mind, Libra is often just being charming, friendly, and generally speaking, they will stay just with that one person, that one significant other, that one person that is very essential and important in their life scheme. Now, another thing about Libra is that of all the three air signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, I think, look at Libra, it's probably the least unpredictable. They can be a little bit unpredictable, I believe, because it is an air sign, but not nearly as much as Aquarius and Gemini. Gemini is just Gemini will be here 1 minute and then they'll go somewhere the next. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, one of the rulers, the other is Saturn, but having Uranus as one of the planetary rulers can give sporadic and erratic energy despite being a fixed sign. So therefore, their energy can be that way sometimes with others. But I mean, in Gemini, of course, can be very fickle and flighty and very changeable, and for that reason, Gemini can be in and out of someone's life. But Libra is a little bit more stable, a little bit more consistent than those other two. And another thing about this sign too is that they could have very even temperament and a very good disposition. So if you have a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, say, that is a colleague or some kind of associate at work, well, you generally don't have to worry about this person's bad mood to rub off on you or take it out on you or any of the other people at the job, because Libra seems to be, as far as controlling their emotions this way. If something is bothering them that it has no relevance to the job at hand, they will often put that aside and still concentrate at the task at hand. What their private life is one thing, and then their work life is another. Alice, the balance again, I guess, and being, I guess you could say, being fair-minded about things. Libras like to be fair and equitable, and I guess they just don't think it's fair to take something out on someone else that has nothing to do with that person. So, also, these people often admire things that are refined and cultured because they often are. They like environments that are peaceful, that are aesthetically appealing, that have some kind of artistry in them often. These people often could make good artists, and of course that could cover a wide divergence of things such as painting, drawing, sculpting. And the thing about Libra too is they often could have a very attractive physical appearance, and even the ones that aren't quite as physically attractive, they often exude some kind of attractiveness to them, and it could be some inner beauty that people often detect. There might be just simply some attractive mannerisms of the person, and these people may often even appear more beautiful than maybe they are because of their demeanor and their persona, because they could be just very charming people, and just as far as their personality goes, could be very likable to others because they can be very amiable and friendly people. Now, another thing about Libra is that they often can make very good judges, and they are very fair-minded in being this way and equitable. They're often strongly about justice, and they certainly can abhor injustice. Judge Judy is a Sun in Libra, and Ed Koch, who used to be the judge on the People's Court, he had a Libra Ascendant. So, I mean, that's just really the sign of really, as far as law and justice goes, these people often can do very well, be proficient in careers associated with justice, with the law, such as working as an attorney, a paralegal, even a judge. These are a court reporter. So another thing, what I find is interesting about this sign, and I don't know other people's experiences, but based on my experiences with Libra people, like say if you were to cut a Libra off, how other people, you might have some people that might become very acrimonious or vindictive or vengeful over that. Like, let's say you block somebody on social media sites such as Facebook. Well, this happened, I know, with one person, and something similar I think happened with another one, where one had a Libra Ascendant, the other Libra Sun, and basically after I did this, I didn't hear anything from either one of them, and I mean, I may not have deserved to, but what I'm saying is well, this is what it comes down to with Libras, I think, in these situations and scenarios. If you were to cut a Libra off, I think very often that Libra person will just do the same thing to you. That basically, if you forget about them, their philosophy is, you know what, I'm going to cut you off, I'm going to forget about you, because maybe it has something to do with the fair-mindedness of the sign. What's fair is fair. So I think that's really how it goes with them, and because they're generally non-combative, they're very peaceful people, this is how maybe why they approach things in this manner. So it's kind of like they have this sense of balance and that sense of fairness. Now, somebody, say with a very strongly afflicted Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, perhaps in a very negative expression or manifestation, they could be a relationship disruptor. Instead of bringing people together, unfortunately, the very negative Libra, they could be one that can cause strife and discord between other people and find ways to get other people to be angry at each other. And that's really, it's something that is fairly rare, I would say, with Libra, but I think Libra in its most negative expression could resort to something like this, and especially if they're angry at one or both of those people, and that could be their way of exacting vengeance, so to speak, on them. So Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Libra and their personality. And stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about Scorpio and their personality. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.